Okay, so despite all of my preaching about alternative methods and things we can do to get better that aren't changing the way our golf swing looks, I understand that it is something that most people want. I know it's something that's important to me and my swing, and honestly, it's going to be a good part of anybody who's trying to optimize long term, right? Not everybody's trying to optimize long term, but if you are, movement change is going to be something you need to understand how to do. So in this section, we're going to dig into, what is the four-step framework that I give to all of my students on how to change their patterns. So let's do number one, right? I feel like this could be its own video series, honestly, this topic. I mean, it's got one slide in this presentation, but holy shit, is feedback important. And if you remember one thing from all of this, it is that you're either getting feedback, you're measuring something, in your single sample size swings, you're getting feedback, you're measuring, or you're just exercising. And honestly, exercise is great. And if you just want to hit balls for fun, that's great too. But you you have to get feedback while you're practicing. So, um, what are the ways that we can get feedback, right? Very simply put, there's video, and I'll do a whole thing on how to film your swing, right? It's easy to find that out there though, on what angles to use. Basically, you want a stationary camera and good camera angles, right? You can do drills, right? Excuse me. With respect to video, it's very important. One of the things that is very hard to get students to do is you need to film yourself doing drills, right? It's honestly easy to screw up the drill, when you're doing just kind of a slow motion takeaway drill. Gotta film the drills. And the other thing to say about video is that frequency is important. What I tend to recommend, what I do for myself, is film early in a session, film one or two swings if I'm hitting 50 balls, establish that my feel is correct, put in a little bit of volume, and then film at the end to make sure I'm still in a good spot. Like, you don't want to overdo it with video. It's very easy to do that. And since we're playing a long game anyway, if you happen to screw up a few in the middle while you're not filming, that's okay too. That's just part of it, right? Other feedback mechanism, alignment sticks, right? Any kind of constraint, right? This is what training aids basically are. I'll highlight some drills for all of these courses that I make, but a lot of them are just going to be really simple stuff based on, using an alignment stick, whether it's to aim or to help you extend the shaft, to tell you what plane you're on, or whether it's something to go over or under during, the takeaway. Um, a lot of good alignment stick drills or constraint drills can be found on the internet. I'll talk briefly about how to use YouTube, right? I encourage a lot of my students, once they get a decent diagnosis, a lot of people ask for drills, right? And I'm not so much concerned about what drill you do, so much as you know how to find drills and understand what relates to your topic, right? Because working over the internet, it's difficult to know what methods will work for other people. And because there's such a plethora of beautiful content on the internet related to any given topic, it can honestly be beneficial to try to find something that really triggers for your learning method, or the way you process things. So when it comes to using YouTube or searching for drills, just be very careful. Like, look for stuff that specifically applies to the diagnosis you've been given. Try to stay within the rails there. Training aids, right? Same story. Tons of training aids out there. With the specific swing faults that I see, my personal favorite training aid is the PlaneMate. I would encourage you to look into it. It kind of covers feedback in a way that is hard to get unless it's on video for a full swing. Same note though, like, does the training aid apply to my fault? Did my instructor recommend it? Of course, the other form of feedback that has to be mentioned is lessons, right? Whether that's a buddy who's just helping you aim, or an in-person lesson with a famous coach, getting a second set of eyes is something that's kind of invaluable. And I would encourage everybody, at the right frequencies to, get a qualified set of eyes to look at you. Okay, next up, we're going to talk about the next two in our 4-idea framework for how to change your swing pattern.